What doesn't a mother do for her children? But this is the story of a mother who gave her daughter a mysterious medicine every day. What is the secret behind this pill? The film begins in a hospital's operating theater, where some doctors are trying to save a premature newborn. A little while later, the baby's mother, Diane Sherman, is called in to see the baby's condition. She wants to know if her baby will be alright. The scene changes and we see a girl named Chloe. She suffered from asthma, diabetes, paralysis, and 5 other serious illnesses. Taking several medications at home and regularly checking her blood sugar levels were part of her daily routine. Chloe is a very intelligent girl who wants to pursue higher studies at a renowned university in her city. She had even filled out the application form for admission to the university. Whenever a letter arrived at home, she would get very excited, thinking it might be from the university. But unfortunately, no letter ever came from the university. Chloe is a very curious girl who loves conducting new experiments. She keeps making strange things at home by learning from the internet. One day, while she was studying, she heard the sound of a vehicle. She thought it was a delivery truck, but when she peeked outside, she saw that her mother had returned home from the market with some groceries. Her mother was talking to someone on the phone. Meanwhile, she peeked into the box and took out some chocolates. There, her eyes fell on a green medicine bottle on which was written the name Diane Sherman, that is her mother's name. But as far as she knew, her mother didn't have any illness. So, what exactly is this medicine for? At night before going to bed, Chloe's mother gives her some medicines. Chloe immediately recognized that among those medicines was a green capsule, the same one she had seen earlier. She asked her mother about it, but her mother said that actually the medicine was for Chloe herself and that pharmacists write the buyer's name on the bottle. Chloe wasn't completely satisfied with her mother's answer, but trusting her mother, she took her medicine and went straight to bed. The next day, driven by curiosity, she took out the bottle from the medicine box and saw that the medicine was called trigoxin. But she found it very strange that now her name was written on the bottle of that medicine. But when she removed the sticker, underneath it was Diane Sherman's name. That night, before going to bed, Chloe was given all the same medicines again. But this time, Chloe didn't swallow the green pill. Instead, she took it out and kept it with her to examine later. After her mother went to sleep, Chloe quickly went downstairs and started searching for information about trigoxin on her computer. However, she couldn't find anything because there was some problem with the internet. While using the computer, she didn't realize that someone was watching her from the corner of the room. When she has no other option left, Chloe starts calling strangers and asks them to look up trigoxin on the internet and tell her about it. She finds out that trigoxin is a heart medication, but the strange thing was that trigoxin actually comes in a red capsule. She began to suspect that her mother was hiding something from her. Chloe still had a lot of questions on her mind. To get out of the house, she asked her mother about going to watch a movie. When they were at the cinema hall, Chloe told Diane that she needed to go to the restroom. She left the theater and went to a nearby pharmacy. She asked the chemist about the green medicine her mother had given her. She wanted to know what exactly the medicine was for. When the chemist saw the capsule, she couldn't figure it out, because the medicine wasn't actually trigoxin, but rather a drug called lidocaine, which is usually used for dogs. Hearing this, Chloe was shocked. She asked the chemist what would happen if a human took this medicine. The chemist replied that if a human took this medicine, they could become paralyzed in half or all of their body. Diane, searching for Chloe, rushed into the store and injected a sedative into Chloe's leg. Her mother brought her back home. She locked Chloe in a room and went out herself to get a new paralysis medicine, which she had been searching for on the internet for quite some time. When Chloe woke up, she realized that her mother had locked her in the room. Chloe tried to unlock the door, but her mother had already anticipated all this and had blocked the door with a piece of wood in such a way that even if Chloe managed to unlock it, the door still wouldn't open. But Chloe didn't give up either. She knew how to use science to break glass. She set out, taking a blanket, a soldering iron, and water in her mouth. She crawled out of her room's window and somehow made her way to the other room. Using the heat from the soldering iron and water, she broke the glass and placed the blanket over the window to protect herself from the broken shards as she moved forward. As soon as she entered through the window, she started to feel short of breath. She had forgotten to bring her asthma inhaler with her. Still, somehow, Chloe managed to crawl to her room and grabbed her asthma inhaler. She immediately sat in her wheelchair and started to head out of the house. But her mother had also broken the elevator. With great difficulty, she pushed her wheelchair down and began to crawl down the stairs. But suddenly, she slipped and tumbled down the stairs. She landed on the ground with a thud. She realized that she could move her toe because she hadn't taken the medicine her mother gave her for quite some time. She was becoming convinced that her mother was the one responsible for her condition. Chloe immediately sat in her wheelchair and headed out of the house toward the road leading to the city. Just then, she heard the sound of an approaching car. Chloe was afraid it might be her mother's car, so she quickly hid behind some bushes. It turned out that the car belonged to the mailman who had come to deliver a letter to their house. Chloe suddenly came onto the road, narrowly avoiding being hit by the car. The postman quickly got out of the car and asked Chloe if she was okay. Chloe simply said, "Help me." While the postman was helping her, her mother's car suddenly passed by and her mother saw them. Diane immediately went up to the postman and started asking what had happened to Chloe. She wanted to take her daughter back home, but the postman stopped her. He said that Chloe didn't want to go home, she wanted to go to the police station. Diane threatened him, saying she would hand him over to the police for kidnapping Chloe. But there was no phone signal there, so all of Diane's efforts went in vain. Unwillingly, she lets the postman take Chloe with him, but only on the condition that she will go along too. When he was helping Chloe get into the car, Diane came from behind and injected him in the neck with a sedative. She did the same thing to Chloe. When she woke up, she found herself locked in the basement of the house. There, she saw a black substance, which her mother had probably made to paralyze her. Chloe couldn't get out of there because Diane had chained her wheelchair. Chloe saw some papers there. It turns out that many letters had come from the university about her admission, but her mother had hidden all of them from her. She became very disappointed. She saw many pictures from her childhood in front of her, in which she looked completely healthy. Her legs were perfectly fine. She could walk. She found an even more shocking paper which contained information about the death of a baby girl. The baby's name was Chloe, who had died just 2 hours after birth. There was also a newspaper there, which reported that on the same day as Chloe's death, a baby had been stolen from that hospital. Reading this gave Chloe a huge shock. She realized that she was not the witch's real daughter. She was actually the baby whom the witch had stolen from her parents. Then it is shown that the doctors could not save the witch's baby, and because of this, the witch became so distraught that she stole someone else's child from the hospital. Chloe was still reading all this when the witch came down to the basement. Chloe told her that she now knew the truth about her. She said she knew the witch was not her mother and that it was the witch who had made her sick and disabled by giving her medicines. The witch says that she did all this because she loves Chloe. She throws away Chloe's medicines and tells her to forget everything and become like she was before. Chloe was still scared. She did not believe what her mother was saying, but now the witch's patience had run out. She filled a syringe with that black substance. Chloe was terrified and quickly hid behind a cupboard, locking the door. There, she found a vial of poison. As soon as her mother opened the door, Chloe drank the entire vial of poison. The witch began to cry loudly, watching her daughter die. Chloe was immediately taken to the hospital. The doctors managed to save her with great difficulty, but for some time she would still have a lot of trouble moving and speaking. Chloe saw her mother staring at her through the window of the room. She immediately presses the help button to call the nurse for assistance. She couldn't speak, so she signaled to the nurse with her eyes. The nurse gave her a piece of paper and a crayon so she could write down what she wanted to say. While Chloe was writing something, suddenly the emergency alarm started ringing. It turns out that the alarm was actually set off by the witch to distract the nurse. After some time, the witch entered Chloe's room, quickly removed all the equipment, and took her outside. When the nurse returned to Chloe's room, she saw that Chloe was not there. The nurse saw the paper Chloe had written on, where she had written "Mom." The nurse quickly informed hospital security and asked them to search for Chloe. The witch was forcibly taking Chloe away from there. While leaving the hospital, Chloe's mother couldn't move her wheelchair on the escalator because in reality, Chloe had locked her legs to stop the wheelchair. She was able to use her legs. Just then, the hospital security guards also arrived. They told the witch to put her hands up. She pointed her gun at them and said that she just wanted to take her daughter back home. One of the security guards shot at the witch, causing her to fall straight down the stairs. In the end, Chloe was rescued safely. In the next scene, the mental hospital is shown 7 years later. Chloe had grown up by then. She was able to move her legs, although it was still a struggle for her. Chloe had come there to meet Diane. Chloe tells her that she is living a very good life with her real family. She now has many friends and has also completed her studies at her favorite university. She says that her legs are much better than before, but whether they will get any better than this, she can't say for sure. Before leaving, she takes something out of her mouth. It was the same dog medicine that Diane used to give her. Chloe said to her very lovingly, "Mom, I love you very much. Come on, now open your mouth." With this horrifying scene, the film ends. If you like the story, do like the video and subscribe to keep hearing stories of such unique films.